Okay, hi there. Alright, so, as you know, we're going to start with a slight history of cameras. My history of cameras is just a little introduction, is my first camera I got in 1989. It was one of those little point and click things that were common back in the 80s. There were these little elongated white cameras. I do not have an example of one because, again, I lost mine. It's in a box somewhere at my parents' house. But my very, very first camera that I got, that I bought, because apparently mine got stolen. Oh boy. Excuse me, Izzy. Is this one. This was my very first camera. It eventually broke. It has a crack right here on the screen, which means it's completely useless. I cannot use it. I was going to give it to my nephew when he turned 12, but unfortunately that was not the case. It was immediately replaced by its predecessor, which is a slightly bigger version of the same camera. This one is a battery-operated one, which is definitely a copy of that one in its own way. It is not as sturdy, and again, I'm a cybershot girl, so that is totally my choice. These cameras are very versatile. You can take as many pictures as you want, and it has a nice back screen, lovely light for flashes, and the flash can be extra bright, so be really careful if you ever buy one of these, because honestly, you could easily blind your friends with one of them, and I honestly will tell you that is not always a fun little thing you want to do. Now, in this episode, I am also going to cover my second camera, which is my Nikon. Nikon has a wonderful, this was given to me by my best friend, Tanya. Yes, I'm going to drop her name because nobody's going to know which Tanya I'm talking about. So, this camera, again, is very nice. If you set it on auto, sometimes it'll take really good shots. At this point, it is very blurry. When I actually get to doing stuff later on, I will show you a bunch of the images of before and after. Yeah, this poor guy has been through enough that I have to manually actually adjust it every now and then to get a clearer shot. That's because the lens, the auto on this lens is worn out, and I can't afford to get a new one, so it's kind of iffy on whether or not I can actually continue using it. The D40 series is actually really good if you're doing really good models or even going out into nature like I do and take really good shots. The other nice thing about it, and I have a really cool charger for it, is these chargers, Batteries Plus is a great place if you're doing a replacement. I have quite a few chargers running around the house because, like I said, I travel a lot, so sometimes those chargers get lost in transit, so I end up having to go to Batteries Plus to get new ones. So Batteries Plus is a great place to get batteries and great place to work with. My next camera, which we can go in depth with in a later episode, is on how to use this guy, which is my CyberShot 20.1 megapixel. This is a DSLR with a mega zoom. It is perfectly easy. It's easy to use. It's not easy to play with at times because sometimes it messes with the date. So when you turn it on, you have to make sure you have to set the date correctly, or it'll just forget that part. That is a drawback with some of these cameras. You do have to reset the dates every now and then. Next camera that I have is my other CyberShot. This is a slightly better version of this little this little one. This is a slightly more expensive. This was about $96 used. Um, I can go into in depth later on how to buy a camera on Amazon. That's how I got this camera here that I am using currently for this episode. What I am going to point out, and this is something that, considering I'm not going off a script, is charging. Chargers, most cameras in the CyberShot series are using AA batteries now, so you don't need to worry about this. But I still have this one. Requires this. This is one of the Sony chargers. You can get them off the Sony store relatively easily, but the last couple of these batteries, these have been that one. Now, I have a slightly bigger camera, and I'm going to show that one right now. Come here, Mariah. I got to get you out. Sorry if you have to see my back. Okay. This is my sister's Canon. This was given to me by my parents. This thing has so many lenses, I have a hard time working with them. That's why there's going to be an entire episode dedicated to this bad boy or bad girl. She is one of my best cameras. I use this one. As you can see, it does have its lens. It's outdoor lenses, which adjust to indoor and outdoor. I have an indoor lens, which is a purple lens, used to actually deplete light inside of a house. That's pretty nice. It's great for Christmas lights. I will tell you that now. But the sad part is these cameras do not work well at night. This one works really well at night when you actually have the way to adjust it, which means you have to send it over to SCN. I'll have another episode dedicated to how that camera works and how I use it for better things. Other things that you need. Camera back. These run pretty cheaply. During my time of picking out one of these, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to pick one out because of my CyberShot. I didn't know its size. This thing augments to any size camera. I absolutely love it. It goes everywhere with me. This one was given with the Casio that's inherited from my sister, R.I.P. Rest in peace. She is dead. But one of the things about cameras is be prepared to pay a lot. These cameras, 2 of which are inherited. I couldn't afford these, believe me. Yet I could afford the cheaper ones, which are the Sony CyberShots. Sony CyberShots are cheap, give or take. There we go. I said it. They're cheap. They're easy. They're fun. They can do anything. You can train on them. You can bring an 8-year-old into it and not have a problem. But you will have one problem. Is usually it's people at the park. Some of them are very nice. They'll talk to you about camera work. Then you'll get those ones that are you scratch your head at and you read about them on Reddit as entitled parents. Other than that, that is the best option. This episode is going to close out with saying, hey, if you're going to get into cameras, again, wait until the later episodes where I individually open and give you guys an entire spiel about which camera does what and how. All right? Have a nice night.